Hey guys, redoing the timing belt on the XT, the turbo. Remember that one? Yep. Old girl is my buddies now, even though we brought her up from the dead after a new short block and then an engine fire. He's put another 30,000 miles on it, and we heard a little bit of pulley noise, so we went ahead and we're doing the water pump timing set, all of it. And I've got it all together except for the tensioner and belt. And I remembered something that I read in the instructions. A lot of debate goes on about whether or not some of the timing sets are any good. And I gotta say, if you get a Gates set, this is going to sound weird, get the cheaper set. It's actually better. What Gates did, they paid a lot of money for the copyright on the design of the original tensioner. And I actually spoke with Gates representatives about this in person. And they explained to me that the original OE design costs a little more. However, what they did, they found some weaknesses with the tensioner itself and actually improved on the tensioner design. And since it was their design, they were able to offer it for a little bit cheaper. I believe it's got to end by the part number, but ask your parts person if you order it from a store. And like when I look it up at the store, it says new and improved design, and get that one. I may be wrong about the end, but ask for the details. There are two Gates sets, and maybe that's why there's a disparity between people complaining about the Gates sets and the people that swear by it, like me. Like, I've never had any problems. And I don't just fix these for people. These are my cars. I've kept these. This turbo's got 267,000 miles on it now. I drove it to 230, okay? I got my Baja when I had 120 something and did the heads, and I had it until had 170 something thousand miles on it, and so on and so forth. I had 7 or 8 Subarus, and I've never had one of my Gates sets fail because I get that set. Now this time I got the Import Direct set, which you can get at the parts store, but again, this would be more like a Import Direct in my experience. They go with the OEM suppliers, OEM parts for the pulleys and whatnot. So you can do that. You can go that way. Both the Gates set and the Import Direct has a lifetime warranty on it. Import Direct being O'Reilly's OEM suppliers, and I don't know if AutoZone or whatever, I don't know if they do it, but that's who, I believe it's affiliated with Gates. I may be wrong, but they go with OEM suppliers. Here's just for your info. There you go. It's probably flipped 20412K. And it says components from the USA, Japan, Germany, France, India, Brazil. It depends on what it is, you know. Another thing that you guys really need to know is when you get this pack out, you have got to get a vise from these being shipped over, and they say elevation up in the airplanes, something with the atmospheric pressure. These tensioners adjust. They're hydraulic, and anyway, you have to bleed them out. Okay, so when you get it, don't just put it in, set your timing, and then pull the pin. Little grenade pin. By the way, always save these. Always. I've had to use this twice on this one tensioner. getting the timing just right, because it's kind of trial and error. Once you release it, pulley shifts, you're like, oh God, I needed to be an extra tooth. You got to redo the whole thing about. But anyway, what you do is you need to do this over a period of a few minutes. Don't do it all at once or you'll blow the seals. You get a vise like this, right? It doesn't matter what brand tensioner, Subaru tensioner, I don't care. And you're going to want to set it up where you can get it pressed in without bottoming out anywhere, on the pulley, whatever. And gradually, you're going to want to roll this thing in until you can get the pin back in it. So you're gonna pull the pin as soon as you get it and open the box. And then you're going to want to gradually work it back in and put the pin back in. And now the instructions say do it 2 or 3 times. You'll probably end up doing it 2 or 3 times by the time you get it right anyways. Another misconception about the turbos or twin cams is that you have to pull the motor to do the timing belt correctly. That's not necessarily true, depending on how much you need your Freon. But since the fire, the condenser on this thing has been crap, and the compressor was locked up, so I just took the condenser out, the radiator's out, and guess what? You can see both the gears. Boom, baby. There you go. So you've got a bird's eye view right there, no problem. And I wish to God I'd have done that whenever we fixed this car after that fire the first time, because it is so much easier. I don't even know how we did it with a mirror last time. And believe me, if your AC isn't an issue or you're low on Freon or whatever, just pull the line off the condenser and pull it out. It took me, it's got two 10 millimeter bolts holding it. Little bitty things. 2 little bitty 10 millimeters out front on the radiator supports right here. And then a bolt right here holding the line on it. You just bump it out of there and unplug the sensor, and that's it. God, it made life so much easier. So definitely do that. It makes it way easier to do the timing belt. Hopefully I can get this old girl back together. And y'all just... My house got hit by a tornado, F4 tornado, here in Collins, Mississippi, I think on the 14th. And this car has been through a fire. It blew the ring lands, then it went through a fire a week after I got a new short block handmade and shipped to me and put in at Performance Motorsports. And then it had a tree land on top of it. A tree top. Yeah, there's most of the tree right there. I'll show you the rest of this mess. A lot of it is over there. So, yeah, the whole tree top was on top of the car. And the car was actually parked a little further back here. And I wrapped a chain hoist around the bricks on the house here and used the chain hoist and actually drug the car out from under the tree instead of trying to get the tree off and risk damaging the car. So it's been a time. I had the timing set off the car, went to work that afternoon, and then the tornado hit my house while I was at work, 15-20 minutes away, with my wife here by herself with the dog hiding in the hall. So that's why it's chaos here. The motorcycle did survive somehow. It was on the front porch. The house was surrounded by trees. I kept asking Kat, how bad was it? And she was like, I don't know. I can't get out of the house for trees and power lines. And it's literally piles of trees all around my house, despite a week and a half of chainsaws and work crews. And we had a track hoe in here. And it's been chaos, y'all. But I finally throw this car back together. Timon said at least today. And we were having cooling issues with it. And I think a fan's dead on this big giant aluminum radiator he had bought for it. And I had the factory one in. I was actually going to put the factory back and put the factory fans back in. And they were in my shed. That shed. There's the top of the radiator. So I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know if it's good or not. That was a factory radiator out of the turbo. So I don't, whatever. He had bought this freaking 3-inch, 2-inch thick aluminum core. And then his factory fans wouldn't fit. Then we found this out at about midnight one night. And he had to get eBay fans, and just, it's been a headache ever since. So, anyway. Wow. So, yeah, y'all just keep me in mind. I don't make money off of YouTube. I'm just here because I don't get the views or whatever, and that's fine. I don't have the big channel and the big stuff going on like a lot of people do. I got a day job, so it is what it is, but this is what we're looking at here. Trees were all piled up here. Got the corner of the house. See all my mess. We got piles and piles of wood piles. Just lucky. I'm lucky I was at work. I wouldn't have had a car. Would have been smashed. Probably by that tree right there is where I park at. Or this oak tree here that was on top of the Subaru. And Caitlin's car would have been there. Where the tree took out the corner of the house. So, would have got her car too. It's cheapest than mine. It's been kind of chaotic. Just trying to get things back together. There's the pretty girl. How about that? In a world of mess. But there she is. Yeah. Can't beat that. I know the numbers are backwards, but I'm sure y'all can tell that ain't very much. But probably the prettiest thing over here. But sometimes it's what you need. This coronavirus BS. Even though I'm still working more hours than I've ever worked. And not even in the medical field. I'm literally just selling car parts. But you guys can't give it a rest. So, here we are. Anyway. Gonna throw that out there. Bleed out your tensioners, people. Please, please don't last. They'll last so much longer. Yeah, I guess that's about it.